So our next contestant is a contestant that I quickly sped through because he initially did not get a turn for chairs or any turns. Our youngest contestant so far, Mr. Jaylen Dunham, who sang "Listen" from Dreamgirls, Beyonce's big song from Dreamgirls.
Yes.
You know what, Stephanie? I was the reason why I'm gonna tell you I was disappointed. I wasn't disappointed. I was disappointed for nature. I was disappointed for puberty because if you're, if you're of the male gender, and you had a voice very young, puberty will wreak havoc on your voice,
Right.
and you just don't know. Like all of a sudden, you gotta just start singing in completely different keys. It feels all wrong. It sounds all wrong. You gotta relearn your voice. Every male identifying has to relearn their voice when they hit.
Yeah.
You just have to.
Yeah.
I just felt like it was a very bad, because again, I'm a little bit more forgiving when somebody talks about their accolades when they're super young, like because if you've been on something like Showtime at the Apollo and you won it, then you can sing. And
yes, you can.
I was like, okay, Jaylen can sing, but I just think Jaylen is trying to discover his 14 going on 30-year-old voice now. Because you could tell it recently dropped or was in literally the process of dropping. So I thought he handled it safely. Where probably he used to, I'm sure a year before, he used to wail, probably maybe even 6 months before, he used to wail on that song. You could hear it in
1,000%.
he could wail.
1,000%. 1,000%.
So what's your take on Jaylen? I know you know this song very well.
Oh, absolutely. Well, first of all, when he said that he won on the Apollo, I was like, well, I know you can sing because Apollo don't play. Okay. They are not forgiving. They'll carry you 14. If you can't sing, they will usher you off the stage. So the fact that he won Apollo, I was like, okay, this young man can sing. When he was in the lower register of his voice, I was like the control of it all. I was so impressed with the control and the maturity of his sound. And then exactly like when he started getting into the upper parts of the song, I thought he handled it really well because there is almost a lack of control that you have when your voice is in that season, which is so unfortunate. And I almost am afraid for him to be in this competition, if I'm being truthful, because I hope that they pick songs for him where he can navigate where his voice is and what his voice is doing. And being in this competition in the middle of a voice change is rough. So I really, really hope that his coach is really smart with her song choices for him going forward.
Yes.
When his mother was saying, "My baby didn't get no chairs," I was like, NBC's The Voice, please don't ruin this show for me. Please don't ruin it. But I also knew that Gwen was thinking about doing her coach replay button because in a segue to another segment or into commercial, she had mentioned it. So when she found out how young he was and found out who was actually singing, I was like, she won't push this button because NBC's The Voice is not going to do this to me on tonight. Right. They're not going to ruin the show. So I'm so glad that Gwen used her coach's replay button for Jaylen, and we get to see more of him in the competition.
Awesome. So again, I don't know where your voice is today, Jaylen, because it's been some time since but hopefully you are making that transition as smooth as possible.
Absolutely.
Just from personal experience, it is traumatic, but you will make it through, and your voice will soar again as it once did. Maybe not quite like how you remember it, but it will definitely soar again. So you just keep sticking with it, keep vocalizing in those lower registers so you can get more comfortable with where your voice is settling into. But I know how hard it is. I really do.